Yeah, what's up guys, this is my channel, X&O's TV, and today we're going to break down the Steelers wildcard game against the Cleveland Browns. For me, I'm a Steelers fan. It was absolutely disgusting watching that game. I lost a shit ton of money and respect for that Steelers team. Now, I know the big storyline is the offense, but for me, I want to talk about the defense. After watching the All-22 film, the defense is what was most disappointing to me. Again, I get it. The offense, 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Ben Roethlisberger plays like shit. Is he going to retire? Is he going to stay? Marquise Pouncey snapping the ball in the end zone. Is he going to retire? Is he going to stay? Juju TikTok dancing and talking shit. What's up with him? I totally get it. But for me, you have an all-world defense against this Browns offense that's missing key players and their head coach and play caller due to COVID, and you cannot stop them. You cannot get off the field on third down. It had everything to do with scheme and execution, and overall was just a very terrible performance from a defense that has played great, who has bailed this team out for 2 years now. For them to shit the bed against the Cleveland Browns team, who has not won a game at Heinz Field in 18 years, it's a gut punch, and that's why most Steeler fans today still feel absolutely disgusted about it. So that's what we're going to break down today. Steelers defense against the Browns offense in 3. Okay, so before we get into the defensive breakdowns, we do have to understand what these turnovers did to this game flow, right? The way you beat the Browns is you have to make Baker Mayfield throw the ball against you. And I don't mean just like little quick throws to the running back or tight ends like he did in this game. I mean you have to take away his first read, make him scan the field and hold the ball, and let your edge rushers, who you have the best front 4 in the NFL, let them come after him and pressure him. Then he makes mistakes. Then he throws the ball in the double coverage. He throws it right to Minka. This is how the Steelers won the game last time. Well, by spotting this team 28 points because the offense keeps turning the ball over, that takes all that away. Not only is this game about momentum and scheme, what you do when you turn the ball over is you force teams to play conservative, and this Browns offense is the best when it's conservative. Now, this play, I do want to talk about the play to Deontay. The real problem with the Steelers offense is they have an identity crisis. Okay, they can't run the football. And the reason they can't run the football is not because of James Conner, it's because the offensive line is soft and the tight end can't run block. You have to be able to grab someone's child, somebody's son, and put him in the fucking dirt. You can't just play patty cake with him and expect to gain 5 yards a pop. That's not how the run game works in the NFL. These guys aren't nasty. They're veterans. They don't really give a shit. They just want to protect Ben, but they don't really want to put their face in somebody else's face and push them back. Straight up. That's really what it's about. That's why the Steelers can't run the ball, so they have a real issue with short yardage. So now every single play, even short yardage throws, are these high-risk, high-reward plays that are turnovers just waiting to happen. Like this play here, just bad luck. But that's what happens when you play this kind of ball. He gets tipped up, and this guy makes a catch like Polamalu. It's insane. Now, again, I didn't really blame the Steelers for that first quarter because the offense was so bad. They were letting the Cleveland Browns start at their 20-yard line. But this is when I got pissed about the defense. This is a minute 30 left in the first half. Your offense just scored, and you let the Browns go right down the field on you and put the score to 35-7. Now, I want you to pay attention on this play. Watch Mike Hilton with the shittiest blitz of the year, and I believe it's a cover 2 here, and I think this was all on Steven Nelson. I think Steven Nelson's supposed to be in the flat there, and he just leaves Nick Chubb buck-ass naked. for a 20-something yard game. That was a beautiful tackle by Terrell Edmunds. It's just terrible. I mean, the execution's bad, miscommunication. You can't have miscommunication. Like here, Cam Sutton covering the wrong guy, supposed to have the tight end. Easy-ass touchdown. You can't have it in a playoff game. Okay, so finally we're going to break down how Cleveland got all surgical on Pittsburgh. This is the Jarvis Landry touchdown right after Ben threw that pick when he was throwing at the Benny Snell. So it's 7-0 right now. And Pittsburgh has the perfect play call. They're in the cover one. I was screaming this all last week. You have to take away the middle of the field. Cover one, cover three. Make your defense look similar, but take away the middle of the field at all costs. That way Baker has to hold the ball. He has to throw the ball outside the numbers where he's not the best at, or he has to take shots downfield. Whatever, just don't let him take these easy throws over the middle of the field. It's kind of like playing Lamar Jackson, which my last video was that. They're very similar quarterbacks, even though obviously Lamar is much more athletic and much more of a threat to run the football. Now, everyone knows Jarvis Landry's getting this ball. So all these routes you see here, they're all just fluff. They're just a clear space out. So Jarvis, when he does catch the ball, he has some room to run. Now, Mike Hilton's going to be in outside leverage, and Minka's going to be directly underneath. It's the same exact play from Week 6 when Minka pick-sixed it when they were in Heinz Field. But obviously, that's not what happens. Minka just misses it, and Jarvis takes it to the house. So now, instead of 7-0 or 7-7, because this was third down here, now it's 14-0. All because your all-pro safety didn't get deep enough and didn't jump and pick this ball off. Look how close he got to this. He gets so close to this ball, but he can't get it. I mean, it doesn't really help that Jarvis jukes the living shit out of Terrell Edmunds either, but still, like, if I'm Keith Butler and I call this play, I expect my playmakers to make plays like this, and it just was just not happening for the Steelers on Sunday night against the Browns. Every time the Browns needed the first down, they just spread the Steelers out. Now, early on, Tomlin and Butler had it figured out, but players were just not executing. So here the Steelers are in a cover one, and same thing, Minka's going to rob anything underneath, and everyone knows the play is going to Jarvis Landry. Now, I wrote flip-flop here because I would have liked to see the Steelers get a little bit more creative, but I understand why they didn't do it here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make their defense look the same every single time. That way Baker doesn't know if the Steelers are in man coverage or zone coverage. It makes him think a little bit and hold the ball, and allows your pass rush to get there. So I understand why they didn't do it here, but in the future I would have liked to see it more. Now, what you have is you have a double team on Jarvis. So like I said, everyone knows Jarvis is going to get the football, and the Steelers want Baker to throw the ball to Jarvis because they have Spillane with inside leverage on Jarvis, which means he's not going to let Jarvis get inside of him, and then Minka's going to have outside leverage and will rob any passes to the outside, and it should be a pick six. Like, if he throws the ball to Jarvis, it should be a pick six, okay? But what's going to happen here is, well, first off, if you're wondering why TJ Watt is on a tight end, it's because the Browns came out in 13 personnel, and they did this a lot. They did this last week as well in the meaningless game with Mason Rudolph. What they do is they come out with 3 tight ends, and they spread you out. The Steelers have to counter by using their heavy set, which is their 3-4 base defense. If they don't use their 3-4 base defense and they use their nickel defense, say, or their dime defense or something like that, then the Steelers are just, or the Browns are just going to run down the Steelers' throats. So they have to do this. But like I said, this is the perfect play call. This is perfect scheme here. What the problem is miscommunication between Spillane and Minka. Now, Spillane was in position, it looked like. He had inside leverage. Minka was supposed to come down and rob that underneath route by Jarvis, but just never did. He ends up robbing the tight end instead to help out TJ. I don't know, but Baker's going to hit Jarvis here. It's going to be a first down, a 17-yard gain. And like I said, it's the perfect play call, just players not executing. So the last play I'll break down was in the fourth quarter. It was a gotta-have-it moment for the Steelers, and they blow it. It's not so much about execution. It's more about the actual play call by Butler and Tomlin. So the Browns come out in 12 personnel. The Steelers get a little lucky. They come out in nickel. And I'm surprised the Browns, it was 2nd and 10. I'm surprised the Browns didn't just run the ball down their throat. But you can't run cover 2 here. You have to have, if Spillane is going to be on Jarvis Landry, you have to have somebody helping him over the middle of the field. Now, everyone knows the ball is going to Jarvis, so why can't this be audible? Why can't you switch? Anything. So here's a route combo. And like I said, all these routes, they're just fluff. Baker's first and only read on this is Jarvis Landry. Now, I would have liked to see, if you want to stay in that cover 2, I would like to see them switch here. Yeah, that gives away the man coverage, but at least it gives you a better shot at guarding Jarvis Landry one-on-one. You can't just leave Spillane on him and not have Minka come down or not help at all. Like, it's ridiculous. So 2nd and 10, it gets picked up. The Browns get the first down, and it's pretty much game over after this. Okay, so in conclusion, the Pittsburgh Steelers played an absolutely awful game in every level and every facet of the game. It's not all on the offense, although it's a big part of it, right? When you give the ball over 3 times in the first quarter and you allow a run-first conservative offense like the Browns to gain a huge lead on you, it's such a giant hole to dig yourself out of, especially when the strength of your team, your defense, is creating splash, right? Interceptions, fumbles, sacks, all these things were limited. There were no sacks in the game by the Steelers defense, no turnovers, and that's because the Browns had such a giant lead from Pittsburgh's offense that they played conservative, they played smart. You got to give it up to them. They played a good game, the Steelers didn't, and that's why they lost. Now, I still think that Pittsburgh is the better team. It took a historically bad night from the Steelers and a near-perfect game from the Browns for them to be victorious in Heinz Field. But that's why you play the game. That's why it's not decided on paper. That's why it's not decided on who did what in the past. You have to come out with a good game plan and execute, and the Browns did that, and that's it. So that's my breakdown on the Pittsburgh Steelers' loss to the Cleveland Browns. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.